We are back, everybody. Welcome to episode 58 of A to Z Sports Talk. And I know I don't even know how you feel about the weekend that just happened, but I'm shocked on like pretty much everything that happened over this weekend. From baseball to college football to NFL football. Yeah, we have it all today. We have some NHL as well and our NBA top 10 centers. Our last NBA segment before the season starts on Tuesday night. But yeah, we'll go through it all today. But Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's one of the best sports weekends ever, and it's why um nothing's like college football. College football is absolutely the best for atmosphere, tradition. To me, I'd rather watch college football than the NFL, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like the environments and everything, it's just awesome. And
Yeah,
yesterday was amazing, and next week's gonna
yeah.
be just as good.
I mean, it's been wild weekend. I mean, I posted something on our story today about the NFL, how shocked I was about some NFL matchups, and then obviously we'll get into all of it. But college football was crazy. Yeah, the Blues started their season as well. The NLDS, and ALDS is almost all wrapped up. We're about to have four teams left, and four teams that I did not expect to. I mean, I expected one of them, I guess, but not what I expected. But do you want to get us
Well, it could
going
be
with our
two of them that you expected.
talking? Are you saying guard?
Yeah,
Okay,
Guardians.
okay, yeah. I guess I did expect them. That NL side is crazy. I did not
Yeah.
expect any of that at all. But do you want to get us started with your did you see it?
Yeah, so did you see it? There was a kid holding a sign in Pittsburgh that said or God, I missed it because I like uh refreshed Twitter, but it said something on the lines of hey Tom, let Giselle know I'm available. It was like a 12-year-old kid holding a sign. It was just kind of funny. Um and then I had in the Tennessee game, offensive lineman. It was at like right at the end of the game. He just projectile vomits, then looks at the guy and starts nodding. I'm like,
Yeah,
let's go.
that was wild.
And then uh yeah, Aaron Judge sucks in the postseason. Well, didn't he hit some home runs though?
I think he hit one yesterday.
Okay, so
But
he's like
before
one
that,
for 20.
before that, it was like 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts or something crazy.
Yeah, it was funny.
So
Makes me feel better.
yeah, for sure. And I want to let the people watching YouTube here. We have the Bills Chiefs game in the background here
Yeah, I
that we're
guess my
keep.
did you see how freaking biased they are to the stupid Chiefs? Chris Jones just stuck his leg out and tripped him. The ref's
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh,
Yeah. I guess my did you see it be the Tennessee Alabama game, which we'll break down again. We'll break it down, but
yeah, quarter by
um
quarter."
them throwing that goalpost into the river. I think you sent me that maybe
Yeah.
on Twitter. That was pretty wild. I mean, that was just a crazy scene there
That's what
on
schools would
on
do
Saturday
back in the
night.
day whenever uh a big game, they'd go run on the rush the field. Well, they still do that, but then like tear the goalposts. A lot of people they just like concrete them in or
Mm-hmm.
like they had people circling them, but then they're just like screw them and which is awesome. Just let them tear it down. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Let's start in baseball in the MLB. Let's start in the National League with some stuff that's gone down there. Um, the Phillies have knocked off the defending champion Atlanta Braves. Is that a at all?
What?
Is to you at all?
Honestly not the way the Phillies have been playing. And the
I
Phillies
mean,
pitchers were better. To me,
for
their
sure.
starting rotation and their lineup is good. They just never really like put it all together during the season because they
Yeah,
just barely made it in. And they got hot at
yeah.
the
I'm
right time.
I'm definitely more shocked in the other series than with this series. But yeah, the Phillies pitching. I mean, Nola's been lights out. Wheeler's been good. Their offense has just dominated. Uh, from Harper, JT Realmuto had a inside the park homer. Did you see the Reese Hoskins pimp job after his
Yeah,
homer?
bat spike.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
that
kind of
was that
cool.
was
I will
it
say.
was it was. I agree. And Castellanos got really hot. At one point they had 5 straight hits on 5 straight pitches, and they were just like teeing off on Strider and
Yeah,
just
because
yeah.
he was I think someone posted I didn't watch the game, but someone posted he was like through 2 innings or something, or yeah, maybe it was like first out in the second inning, he like struck someone that like Strider's back, and I looked at his stats and he like after that he just went off. He
I
pitched
know.
awful.
Yeah, yeah. He pitched tremendous the first 3 innings. It might have even been like 9 up, 9 down or something.
Yeah.
And then they just started teeing off. But no, the Phillies are in the NLCS, and is it one of those things? I've been thinking about it where them eliminating the Cardinals, it kind of makes us look better if they go ahead and
No,
go
I
and
hate the Phillies. I'm rooting Padres
yeah.
hard.
Well, there's a little spoiler for those of you that haven't seen it. The Padres did knock off the Dodgers, and that's a surprise to me. It
Oh,
should be to
that's so
everybody.
funny.
It's crazy. It's absolutely wild.
The
But
Dodgers
no,
can only win in a 60 game season. Do you think that should even count?
the um
The Mickey Mouse title they got?
the COVID one.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. Wasn't it held in Texas? It was
Yeah, it was
held
held in
in
Texas.
yeah. For me, I think we've talked about this before. I have a hard time with some of these matchups going only a 5 game series.
Hmm.
Kind of like us getting booted out in three. We didn't deserve to win either way. But some of these series, like I don't know. Like in a 7 game series, I think the Dodgers probably would come out on top. But I mean, I don't know. It's just tough. Like I think the Braves are a better team than the Phillies, but it gets hot. And like
Yeah.
obviously the Phillies and Padres have gotten hot. But no, the Dodgers didn't they have a 3-1 lead or something like that? In the last game, and then they coughed it up. I think Cronenworth had a big hit, and
Yeah, I
um,
think so. It was 5-3 was the final score.
yeah,
Um,
I know Musgrove pitched. Who's pitching for the Dodgers that night? It was Tyler.
Tyler Anderson.
He pitched well, 5 shutout innings.
Yeah.
Then they
Yeah, the
went to the
Dodgers
bullpen.
were up 5-3, and then the Padres scored five in the bottom of the seventh.
Hmm. That's crazy, absolutely
And
crazy.
Hader threw 10 pitches and had three strikeouts in the to get the save. And I think it was against Turner. Yeah, yeah. Trey Turner. No, Betts, Trey Turner, and Freddie Freeman.
And he struck him out on 10 pitches.
Yeah.
Wild, crazy.
Almost an
Yeah,
immaculate inning.
the NLCS is going to be the Phillies, Padres, the two wild card teams. That's pretty insane. On the American League
But
side,
if you're a baseball fan, it's not that insane. It happens a
very
lot.
true, very true, very true. On the American League side, though, the Mariners went down in Game 3, but without a fight. That was one of the craziest, and I had to leave because I had to go somewhere in the 12th inning. But they lost 1-0 in 18 innings.
It's
That's one of
awesome.
the craziest things I've ever seen. And I think it was Jeremy Pena that had the go
Yeah,
ahead homer.
yeah,
But
he did.
in 18 innings, the Mariners had 7 hits. That's all they could muster up. And I think that was your and I our opinion on them coming into this series was that do they have enough hitting? Because their pitching was pretty solid. George
Yeah.
Kirby was great in that last game. But Julio Rodriguez 1 for 7, Ty France 1 for 7, Cal Raleigh 0 for 6. He batted 071 in the series. Kellenic 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. Like man, like these averages are awful. So they gotta go ahead and go try to fix that in the offseason if they're gonna make a move next year.
Yeah, the Astros, this is actually kind of funny. Lance McCullers started the game. He went 6 innings. Gave up 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Then they had one, two, three, four, five, 6 guys pitch after him. And then after that, Luis Garcia came in and finished the game off throwing 5 innings.
It's
Uh,
crazy.
only 2 hits, 6 strikeouts. Almost identical line to Lance McCullers, who started the game.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see this type of stuff in the regular season ever. It's like a whole different type of game, pretty
Well, you
much.
don't see it anymore because the extra inning, the runner, which they don't have in the postseason, which I like.
I love that. I love that it's not in the postseason. Do you want to give an update on this Bills Chiefs game before we move on to some hockey? Because it's
It's the
getting pretty good
same
here.
2017.
2 minutes left though.
Yeah,
Buffalo
well,
got the
Bills
ball at
have the
about
ball.
midfield. Yeah. So hopefully we can be updating some people
Yeah,
on a
hopefully I don't
buff
want to shoot myself.
on a
Okay.
Buffalo dub here in a second.
Nobody
Uh,
circles
Sa-
the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
on Saturday night, there were 14 NHL games.
Hey, you just
Um,
completely skipped over the Yankees and Guardians.
oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So that series is 2-1. With game four
Another thing
actually
that just makes me happy.
happening right now. And I think the MVP of that series has to be, or in the MVP of the Guardians season, especially postseason, has to be Oscar Gonzalez. A
Yeah.
massive walk off again, rocking the SpongeBob theme song
Yeah. You see
at
all the
home plate.
guys taking their shirts off,
Yeah,
singing to
I
it.
see like I see the one guy with the SpongeBob uniform on all the time too. He's been all over the place, but
Hey, Jose Ramirez is batting 348 in the postseason,
mhm,
so
absolute monster. Did you know he had
he's
126 RBIs this year?
yeah, I know he had a lot. He
It's
just
crazy. That's crazy.
he just
But no,
drives and runs.
I mean, we talked about the Guardians coming into the postseason. They don't strike out. They take care of their pitchers are great. With Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie, Cal Quantrill, like all these guys are, um, you know, dealing right now. So
Clase is a
yeah, in the back
beast.
end, I think they could really push the Astros, especially the
Who's
Astros
starting
playing.
tonight?
I haven't looked yet. I think it is it Nestor for the Yankees, or is it Garrett Cole?
I'm assuming it's Garrett. Oh, the Yankees are already up 1-0.
Yep, it is Garrett Cole as well against Quantrill.
So game one, oh, big catch, Stephon Diggs. Give him the ball. Yeah, it's I Cleveland's gonna get it done.
If you look at Cleveland's lineup, they don't have names that pop out, and catch your eye. But
Jose Ramirez,
besides Jose and
Andres Jimenez, Med
but
Rosario,
but like if
Steven
you
Kwan.
like these guys are good, but they don't have Judge, Goldie, Nato. Like they don't
Yeah.
have Jose's in that conversation.
Andres
And
Jimenez should be. He batted over 300 this year.
now, yeah. I think the next year he's only like, let me check this real quick. I think he's only
He's
like
pretty young.
24.
I think they
Yeah,
got
he's
him in the didn't they traded Lindor to the Mets. I think they got him in return for that.
because he's only so he's going to be that guy in the next couple of years, especially when as Altuve is getting
Yeah.
older. He's going to be that number one second baseman probably in the American League. But yeah,
Did
I
you
mean they have
see
tremendous pitching.
did you see hopefully Cleveland pulls out tonight, but Dave Roberts before the season, he was on I think the Dan Patrick show, and he was
Yes,
asking about the World Series, and he says we were winning in the World Series this year. And I just love it
yes,
because
yes.
besides the Mickey Mouse, which to me, asterisk, he played 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've won the division every year for like 10 out of the last 11 years, and they only have one World Series title, and it's in a shortened season.
That's
It is
crazy.
so funny.
That's
I
crazy.
don't really like Dave Roberts that much either. He's just kind of annoying.
I was going to ask you, if the Dodgers would have made it to the NLCS, would you have picked them, or would you have wanted them or the Phillies to win?
Oh God.
Because I think I'm cheering for the Dodgers.
I don't know if I wouldn't even watch the series and just cheer for whoever in the American League is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like either of those teams.
So if the Phillies make it against the Astros, you cheering Astros?
Probably.
Because I
As
am
hard as
too.
it is for me to
I know.
say.
I know. I mean,
It's man, that's just another these past World Series have just been awful.
I know.
I
I
hate
know.
Dusty Baker. Come on, Guardians.
The Guardians need this win tonight though. They're
At
down one
home,
nothing in
yeah.
the first. They need it.
The
Don't.
video I sent you of a guy outside the stadium, videotaping it, and it was right when the walk-off hit happened, and you could just hear the crowd noise.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
chills. It was awesome.
It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, hopefully they can get that done tonight because they won't have Tristan McKenzie for game 5. He pitched in game 3. Um,
It's
I
Shane
guess
Bieber.
yeah, it has to be Shane Bieber. I was about to say I think he only pitched game 1 then. So yeah, it's
Bieber
going to be
pitched
him.
game 2. Quantrill pitched game 1. Garrett
Oh,
Cole and
that's right. That's right.
Quantrill started it.
That's right. That's
Oh my
right.
God, Josh
Yeah.
Allen just hurdled a guy.
I think I'm a little behind you.
Oh my God, that was
How
awesome.
much time you got left?
Minute 53.
Oh, I'm ahead. I'm ahead actually. I got a minute 05.
Woo!
And do you want me to tell you what happened, or
Do
you
they
want to
just
see it?
score or do they
Yeah,
throw a pick?
yeah. Dawson Knox touchdown.
Woo! I picked him up on one of my fantasy teams. Let's go.
But yeah, good. So
And then
hopefully,
how
I
much
mean,
time's left?
there's a minute oh
Yeah,
four.
Patrick. Yeah, they're gonna score. I already know it.
But hey, they're up four
That's what
though.
I'm saying. If you're this is like I'm not gonna say never mind. It's just getting too I get really violent whenever I'm cheering against a team I don't like. Yeah, we can just move on.
But hey, they're gonna need a touchdown though, because it'll be up
Yeah,
four after this extra point. So, but no, the Guardians. I think they'll have the edge in Game 5, even though it's in New York with Shane Bieber against I guess Nestor, right?
probably yeah.
So hopefully they can get it done tonight though. That'd be nice to see. And then we'll have Guardians Astros, and we'll be discussing the AL and NLCS um next episode, I guess, because it'll be all wrapped up by
Yeah.
then.
It'll
And
start this week, I would assume.
yeah,
Probably
yeah,
the NLCS will probably start before the ALCS.
yep,
Or I
yeah.
think do they wait for the division series to be done, or do they will just
I th-
start
I
with
think they
NLCS?
I think they just start with the
I think
NLCS,
so too.
maybe one game ahead or something like that.
Yeah.
We're filming here on a Sunday. There were no hockey games today. And that's because 14 of the 16 games that could have been played yesterday. And I was busy that night, so I got to obviously keep up with the Blues. I don't have in-depth analysis about any of these games. I'm actually during my night shift tonight on YouTube. They post like these little 9-minute highlight reels, and I
Yeah.
did the math. 14 times 9, it's like 2 hours worth of highlights. I'm trying to kill time at work, so I'm gonna literally spend 2 hours
Hopefully
watching
AJ's
this.
boss isn't listening right now.
Facts, facts. But I'll give some winners here. Leafs beat the Senators 3-2. Golden Knights beat the Kraken 5-2. Panthers beat the Sabres 4-3. Flyers beat the Canucks 3-2. Bruins beat the Coyotes 6-3. Red Wings beat the Devils 5-2. Penguins beat the Lightning 6-2. Capitals beat the Canadiens 3-1. Islanders beat the Ducks 7-1. Holy cow. The Stars beat the Predators 5-1. The Kings beat the Wild 7-6. I do know something about that game, the Kings Wild game. Marc-Andre Fleury, who's the starting goalie for the Wild, was booed at home, and he said like I deserved it. But I thought that was interesting
He
because
was
he's
just kicked off the team.
no
You
wait
said
what did
booted home?
booed
Oh,
booed
booed. I thought you said
booed
booted.
yeah
I'm like,
no no because they had two goalies last year, him and Cam Talbot. They traded Cam Talbot away, and so he's their number one guy, and obviously a Hall of Famer. So that's something to
the
keep an eye
Maple
on.
Leafs goalie's hurt, right?
Yeah, Matt Murray's hurt. That's gonna really. I mean, they traded Soup away to Edmonton, or they let him go, I guess, in free agency. So that really hurts them. They're in trouble there. The Flames beat the Oilers 4-3 in the Battle of Alberta. The Blackhawks beat the Sharks 5-2. And then let's go to the little Blues here. We won 5-2 in the third, 1 point. But goals scored. Vlad goals. Jake Neighbors had one goal. Jake Neighbors had a really nice goal, actually, a backhand goal. Barbie didn't get us going. Booch got us going. Buchnevich with a goal and an assist. Barbie with the goal that night. Benner was solid. I heard he gave up one that probably should have been saved, but he was 23 of 25 in net. And
That's
obviously,
pretty good.
yeah, it is very good. So the Blues come out with a 5-2 dub. Our next game, it should be Monday. And no, it's Tuesday, I believe. Let me double check here. The 19th. What's the 19th? Is that a Tuesday? That's a Wednesday. A Wednesday? Tell
Wait,
me how
what?
that works.
Wait, what do you say? When do we play?
Tell me how that works. So we play on the 19th, which is a Wednesday. So we don't play. Everybody gets games in. We play on Saturday, and then we get 3 days off again. That's crazy. So I don't know. We play the Kraken in Seattle
We're
though.
well
So
rested.
we really are. We really are. And we just had a interception by the Bills.
Let's go. Does
I
it does it
believe
is it upheld?
yes. Yes, Johnson.
Patrick
Yep.
Mahomes
Yep, just picked
overrated.
him off. Boom. So
Let's
that
go.
seals the dub. Love it. But no, a really quick hockey segment today. We're already flying through this episode because I didn't have any in depth, but I will for this next episode.
Yeah,
Anything
me
else?
too.
Baseball, hockey. You got to say before we move on to NBA?
Um, I don't think so. I'm excited to watch the NLCS. I don't know if watch the ALCS for sure, probably. The
Same,
NLCS, I just don't like the teams as much.
same.
So I may not watch it. But oh dang, I just saw the pick. That was sweet.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Um, but yeah, excited. Hopefully Cleveland can pull it out tonight. And yeah, let's just I guess get on to NBA.
Yes, sir. So we have our top 10 centers. We've done every position now. And instead of really talking about our predict conference and stuff like that and NBA champion, I was thinking we could just post it on our story like we usually do.
Okay.
Because obviously we have so much that we've been talking about in sports here. So don't want it to be like a 2 hour episode breaking down everything. But top 10 centers wise, how do you feel about the list? Solid? Weak list?
I feel like it's pretty solid.
I think it's solid too. So
More
I
solid than I
left
thought.
Christian Wood off my list for the Mavs, but I think he's
Oh,
going to have a
same.
good year if he's healthy. And Clint Capella, who's just a rebound machine, I left him off the list. But my number 10 was Miles Turner for the Indiana Pacers, but I don't think he's going to be a for long. I think they're obviously in a rebuild, and I don't know where
Yeah.
he'll be. I mean, a lot of people are talking the Lakers. I don't know how they'd make that deal work. But wherever he ends, he's a tremendous defender. I would say he's probably, besides Rudy Gobert, the best rim protector in the league. And
Mm,
he doesn't
mm,
have a
I don't know
who would
about
you
that.
who else would you say?
He's on my list. We'll get there.
Okay. I don't think he has a tremendous offensive game. I think he's a really reliable 3-point threat though, in a pick and roll type of situation where he fades. So or flares off of that, I should say. But yeah, Miles Turner was my number 10.
Yeah, so some of my honorable mentions were Nikola Vucevic and Jonas
Ooh,
Valanciunas, which I think are two
you,
guys that are honestly very identical to how they play.
you left
Just
Vooch off
off.
your list?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I hope
How
I
high
didn't.
do you have him? All these guys on here, I think, are better than him. Like he had a good year last year, but it wasn't
Mm,
anything special.
oh, the last
He
year
had,
was definitely worse than what he did in Orlando
and
for
he's gonna be
sure.
32. Like I think
Yeah.
Jonas had the exact same stats as him, more win shares, a better field goal percentage, yeah, for the field and for 3 point. Jonas had more rebounds and he had a little bit more points. So yeah, I'm valid in that.
I'm think because we have left um due to both of us messing up positions or disagreeing with positions. Like you have Siakam on this list, don't you?
Yeah,
So that
that's
takes
the
a
only
spot.
extra.
That takes a spot for sure. That I don't. I mean, I already had Siakam in
He
power
wasn't even
forward.
he's 12th in my list, Vucevic. So
Interesting. Okay. Okay. We'll get it going then.
all right,
All
this
right.
guy you probably would be mad at me for having here, but I think he's gonna have a good year this year. He had a good year last year. He was traded from one team to the other. Um, Good offensively and defensively, and that is Kristaps Porzingis, or known as the Porzingod. One of my favorite players because he's like Dirk, but a poor man's Dirk.
Yeah, for sure.
Averaged between Dallas and Washington, averaged 20 points a game, 8 rebounds, 1.6 blocks. Uh, Shot the ball decent. I think he's gonna have a better year this year, a whole offseason with Washington. He played a lot of games last year, 51 for him. So hopefully he's healthy and dominant because I think he's really good on both ends of the floor just because he's so long and lengthy. And heck, on 2K, I'm like a god with him.
Yeah, health is the big thing with him. He's just gotta be healthy. My number 9 was the guy I know you like for sure, Jarrett Allen for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And or was he the guy you were maybe talking about for better rim protector? Talking about somebody else, were you? So yeah, Jarrett Allen is in that rim protector category though. He's very good at protecting the rim. I feel like I've said that like 5 times in the last 30 seconds. Um, but no, I think he's gonna take a little bit of a drop off than what he did last year due to Evan Mobley getting better. They added Mitchell. He's gonna take a lot of shots and points and all that type of stuff. But Allen was an all-star last year, and I don't think he'll be an all-star this year. But Jared Allen is a absolute dog defensively, and that's really where he hangs his hat. And a really good lob threat as well for Darius Garland, Mitchell when they get into the lane. He's very, very available for lobs. So I have him at my 9 spot.
Yeah, my number 9. This is the guy who I think could be a better rim protector. It's Robert Williams of the Celtics.
Okay.
Was on
Okay.
the all defensive team last year. Averaged 10 points. Basically just a dunker. 9.6 rebounds. And he's 6'8", but he had how many blocks? Where's he at? 2.2 blocks per game. And he had a 9.9 win share, which is pretty good for a guy who averaged 10 points a game, but he's just all defense. Just that's why I was thinking of not putting him on there, but he played such a big part in the Celtics getting to the playoffs, getting the seed they were, and then also I know he was hurt for a little bit, but when he came back, he was still playing good,
Mm-hmm.
and he's really crucial to him. And I just think makes a bigger impact than like Porzingis or even Vucevic and Jonas, just because he's so big for defense, which like those guys score a little bit, but not a lot of teams have that guy you can just rely on defense all the time.
Yeah. And I think impact is not just shown in the box score. I feel like he does a lot of little stuff that really helps out the Celtics. Sadly, I don't know if you saw this. He is going to be out for the first like half of the season. He had
Oh wow.
some kind of procedure done, so that's really going to hurt the Celtics. So I did not have him on my list, but I do at number 8. I do have Jonas Valanciunas, and I mean on a lot of teams, I feel like he could be like a third option with that Pelicans team. They have so many weapons offensively.
They're
Again,
deep.
defensively they struggle. Besides Herb Jones, but Bi and Zion and CJ McCollum, like he's like a fourth or fifth option. But that dude can ball. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas has improved. He was really good in Toronto when he was there during their playoff runs, and I think defensively, kind of a liability when it comes to switches. He's kind of slow on his feet, but compared to other bigs, he holds his own. That's a big body. I don't have his weight here listed, but I bet it's like
He's a
270
big
or
boy.
so. He's a big guy. But he's at my number 8.
My number 1, 2. I guess my 8 is DeAndre Ayton. Um, Solid, shoots great from the field. Shot like 36 from 3, average 17, 10 rebounds, 0.7 blocks, which I feel like he should have more than that because he's 6'11".
Definitely.
But he's a good player. I think his stats have gone up playing with Chris Paul. Yeah, but he just sticks around kind of that a little over 15 range, like 16 points a game, gets his rebounds. He's not a he's not like he's not like a super reliable scorer. Like when you need a bucket, let's give it to DeAndre. But super solid all around game, and yeah, just solid center, I guess.
Yeah,
Nothing.
DeAndre was my number 7, and I think a lot of people thought coming out of the draft he was the number 1 overall pick, that he was going to be like the guy in Phoenix, but he hasn't been that. But he's not like a bust or anything. Like I see a lot of people saying he's a bust. Like he's a very good center still. Defensively, like you said, I'd like to see more blocks out of him, more impact rim protecting. I feel like he moves his feet well with guards. Offensively, a lot of his points come from lobs from CP, penetrating the lane and lobbing to him, or on like a pick and roll where he flares off of it in the mid range. He gets a lot of mid range shots. I know they lately in the last year and a half have been trying to develop his 3-point shot a little bit more. But he's the third option there in Phoenix, and a heck of a third option. He was my number 7 as well. But I mean, him being number 1 in that draft, wasn't Luca number 2 in that draft? Or Luca
I think he
number
was 3. Luka was
3?
3.
Who was second in that draft? Was that the Bagley draft?
Yeah, I think so. Bagley
Was it?
and Trey Young went 5, and then they swapped.
That's right.
Um, so my number 7 is Jared Allen, who you talked about earlier. 16 points a game last year, 10.8 rebounds, shot at a crazy high field goal percentage because he just dunked everything that came with him, came to
Yeah,
him. Or even when he caught
exactly.
on the post, he just took a dribble and dunked on the guy.
Yeah.
Um, averaged 1.3 blocks, super good defensively. Not a guy you give in the post and say, "Hey, get a bucket for me," but every once in a while you throw it down to him. But he's a great pick and roll guy. Throw lobs, just does a lot of things that make the Cavs good. And he had 8.5 win shares, which is pretty high. Just solid player, one of my favorite players, and he's only 24. Yeah, he's 24. He's been in the league a while since he was 19. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I think he's
He's
just gonna
also
keep getting better.
he's also a highlight machine. You kind of mentioned
Yeah,
it. He's a block machine. He's a poster machine. But my number 6 was Nikola Vucevic, and that's why I thought it was crazy. But no, he was. I mean, when he was in Orlando, I feel like everybody kind of had him top 10, and then or top at least some people had him top 5. But I think with Chicago, his last year was his first year there, right? I think that was
I
his
think
first year in
second.
Chicago. Was it second year?
Like
Hmm.
he got traded there in the middle of the season, didn't he?
Yeah, the year before, I guess. But no, his efficiency wasn't great last year. Obviously, I knew the numbers were going to go down with DeMar, DeRozan, and Zach Levine getting a lot of the action and like because in Orlando it was really just him. So I knew the numbers were going to go down, but I still think he's a top 10 center. And I mean I would take him over Aiton Valanciunas. Like if I was starting a team,
You would take
because
him
obviously
over
he put.
Aiton.
I think I would
Aiton can score just
just
the
slightly.
same amount of points and is more athletic and plays both sides.
I think like if I'm starting a team with somebody, because I think I mean if CP wasn't with Aiton, I don't think Aiton's putting up those numbers. Um, and Vooch was putting up crazy numbers
Would you
actually.
take
And
Vooch over Jared Allen?
yeah, I would, I would.
I wouldn't, just because he doesn't score as much, but just his impact on defensively
Yeah,
is just
I
so
think Jarrett.
big.
I think Jarrett's really good in a system. I think Vooch could be a number two star on a team that you could work through, but
Like score,
um,
but he's a defensive liability.
he definitely is a defensive liability for sure.
And as AJ
I
knows,
just
defense wins championships. And the center position
always
is nowadays isn't really, it's not like the olden days where they have him score. Now they just want you to shoot as many threes as you can per game.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, he was my number 6, and I'm hoping he can prove me right this year.
Yeah, he's gonna average less than 15. Um, oh no. My number, what was that? 6.
6. Yep.
Pascal Siakam. I love Pascal Siakam. Averaged 22 a game last year, 22.8, 8.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists. Kind of does it all. Shot at a pretty good percentage, around 50%. Good on both sides of the ball, plays great offense, great defense, really just like a hard worker, high motor guy. Um, he can shoot it and drive it, really do it all. And it's cool because he came from the G League and got an all-star, got a ring. So was he? Yeah, he wasn't an all-star last year, but kind of should have been. He played really. So his past 3 years, he's averaged like 22 a game, and he's a huge part in the Raptors and a big piece of them that helps them win. And yeah, he's my number 6.
Siakam wasn't he wasn't an all-star last year, but he got third team all NBA. He had a
Yeah.
tremendous second half of the season.
I think a
Um
couple years ago in 2K, I had his shot time perfect.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
make 9 threes with him every single game. He'd just
Yeah.
stand in the corner and they wouldn't guard him because his 3-pointer was like an 80, so it's not like good enough for them to be really tight on him. So they
Uh-huh.
leave him open
Uh-huh.
every time. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Before we get into our top 5 here, I want to give you some news from that Yankees Guardians game.
It was
Um,
Harrison
I don't,
Bader hit the home run.
I was about to know if you like this or not, but Harry hit a homer 430 feet, which is his third homer of the
Oh,
ALDS
now he
so
actually
far.
hits.
Crazy. My number 5 was, in my opinion, the best defensive center, and you can make best defensive player. Rudy Gobert was my number 5, and I was putting him and somebody else 4 and 5, and I finally made a decision before this video started, before this episode. And obviously, offensively, he's just known for catching lobs, but defensive impact is his defensive impact is one of the best in all of basketball. I know he gets a lot of hate because he doesn't switch out on guards as well as some other bigs do. But I mean, at the rim, he has such an incredible impact. And obviously, the Jazz they traded away him and D Mitch, but the Jazz were if he wasn't there and they just had Spida, they would not have been anywhere close. I mean,
No.
they always choked
You
in the
could say
playoffs,
Rudy Gobert
but
was low key more important than Donovan Mitchell. That may be a
oh,
hot
you
take, but
it is a hot take, but I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Yeah. Kind of like what I said about Robert Williams. A lot of his stuff, I mean, he's an elite rebounder too. He gets 13, 14 rebounds a game because he's like 7'2". His impact is not always shown in the box score. Protecting
wait,
the
who?
rim, Gobert.
Oh. No,
His
wait, who are you
impact.
comparing him to?
I mentioned earlier with Robert Williams
Oh, I thought
how
you said Robert Williams was 7'2". I was like, he's 6'8".
no. No, with Robert Williams, I was saying how his impact is sometimes not shown in the box score,
Mm,
just by contesting shots or being making it uncomfortable around the rim, forcing guys to not want to come into the lane. And I feel like Rudy Gobert is the best example of that in the NBA. But um, I have no hate towards Rudy. I think he's still an all-star caliber player. Don't know if he'll be an all-star caliber player in Minnesota. I saw a video about him and Karl Anthony Towns and how they're going to do that's going to be interesting because he's obviously a stay-at-home center, and Karl Anthony
mm.
Towns is better offensively, but defensively, it was just preseason, but they were cooking Cat in pick and roll situations, and Cat was. I'll have to send you the video. He was running all over the place. Something to keep an eye on, and there in Minnesota. But yeah,
That leads perfectly into my number 5, Karl Anthony Towns.
perfect.
Great offensively, 24.6 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, shot 53% and 41 from deep and 82 free throws. So kind of close to a 50-40-90 season. But like elite offensively, but he is so freaking bad at defense. It just bumps. If he was just average, he could be top 3, but he's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, I may even take like Jared Allen over Karl Anthony Towns. Now that may be
Mm-hmm.
a stretch, but
Yeah.
just sometimes it's like defense. The biggest part of defense is just you just have to want to like effort. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really takes a lot of skill. You're just moving your feet, trying to get in front of people and use your instincts. But obviously his defensive instincts stuck. But like he's gonna get his points. He jacks up a ton of shots. Let me
For
see how many
sure.
shots he attempted. Yeah, he attempted like 16 a game last year, so he'll get his points. His defense is what's lacking, and I have he's like 5. Some people probably have him higher, but he's been with the Timberwolves for a while, averaging this many points, and they really haven't won anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he scored, but you can score, and you have to do more than
Yeah.
just score,
Yeah.
basically.
He's that defensive liability that he is why he's not in my top 25 players in the NBA because he's on the outside for me, but he was my number 4 on this list. And I have a question: who's your number 1 option in Minnesota this year, scoring wise? Who are you going with? Is it Cat or is it Anthony Edwards? 'Cause I go Anthony Edwards.
I would just do a pick and roll between them and then have them decide.
There you go. There you go. Good answer. Good answer. But yeah, Cat was my number 4, and like you said, I think offensively, especially shoot. I mean, he's a center that was in the 3-point competition. That's how good of a 3-point shooter he is. But
Hmm.
defensively, oh my gosh, man, yeah, kind of a baby down low too. I mean, he gets bullied by some guys. I saw a couple years ago that clip of Boogie Cousins just when Boogie was in his prime, just
Yeah.
bullying him down low. But yeah, Cat was my number 4.
My number 4 is Rudy,
Okay.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year. That's incredible. Uh, Cat's only had some All Stars and All NBAs. Rudy 6-time All Defensive. He he shot 71% last year just because he like so tall and just dunks on people. He had 2.1 blocks. He's just like what you're saying. His impact's bigger than the box score. He had 11.7 win shares. I think Cat had like 10 with 10 more games played. So that shows
Hmm.
how much impact Rudy has, the Stifle Tower, as Dorsberg loves to say on 2K.
She
Um,
loves it.
I am interested to see how he plays. I think he'll be fine. His game, I think, can literally transfer anywhere. He just uh plays defense, and he has D'Angelo Russell, who's arguably a better passer than Mitchell and Mike Conley. So he could get even more. He could
Yeah.
have a higher points per game just from good passes by him, like lobs and stuff. But yeah, he is my number 4.
So we're gonna have the same top three, which is a rarity for us. And I think we'll probably have them in the same order too. My number three was Bam Adebayo, and I
Same.
was I was I was deciding him and Cat, like which one should I do? And Bam's impact on all levels of the floor. I mean, defensively, he's great at rim protector, and can move. He can really. There's a few guys, and I think he actually said this recently in an interview. There's a few guys in the NBA that can actually guard 1 through 5, and he is one of those guys I truly believe can. Offensively, getting that 3-point shot developing, mid range shot has been there. He's a
Hey, he
mid
doesn't need to
range.
shoot threes. He's a
No,
center.
no, he doesn't. Especially, I mean, it's not like he's a just stay at home center too. He's got a really good mid range shot, tremendous lob
He
threat as well.
good handling too. He can dribble
Yeah,
good.
yeah. He actually brings it up sometimes for them, and they kind of run their offense through him. Do you have his stats pulled up by chance?
Yeah, average 19. He was my 3 too.
Hmm.
Average 19 a game, 10 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1.4 steals, zero point 0.8 blocks. Shot 56%. Yeah, super consistent. And his point averages have gone up every single year. So let's see if he can get to 20 points this year. And he is 25.
Yeah. Yeah, he like I said, he's Mr. Do It All there. And obviously a huge impact on that Heat team that's
Oh
constantly
yeah.
winning. Constantly winning. My number two was Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm guessing it's yours as
Same.
well. Okay, yeah.
The
So
guy won
Embiid's
back-to-back MVP, so you gotta give it to
yeah.
Jokic as number 1.
Facts. Yeah, Embiid though finally had a healthy season last year, and even though he drives me nuts, some of the antics that he does, he's dominant. I mean, that dude doesn't have many weaknesses. He's kind of, this is a weird comparison. And I haven't heard somebody say this comparison, but I think he's just a better version of Bam Adebayo. Like he gives me a lot of Bam. Like he does pretty much everything on the court that you want him to. Underrated passer, because he doesn't get to use it a lot, but when he
Yeah.
does, he has shown that he can. Great 3-point shooter, great mid range shooter, shoots a ton of free throws, a ton of free throws. He had to be.
81% from the free throw line.
He had to have been top three in free throw attempts last year. It seemed like he was shooting 20 a
He
game.
averaged 11.8 a game.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean that's a ton, and then have Harden in that lineup too. That's some boring games just watching free throws nonstop.
Like, how are you
But
supposed to stop a guy who's 7 foot 280? Like, you gotta
no,
foul him.
exactly. Yeah, he's absolute dominant. Anything you have on Embiid?
Beast, paint beast.
Well said. Another number one, absolute dominance over these last few years. Where's he from, Jokic? Croatia?
Serbia.
Serbia. That's right. So I think his numbers will go down a little this year because especially if and Jamal and MPJ are healthy, his numbers will go down. But impact
Until
wise,
they get hurt, then they'll go up.
exactly.
Well, he had
Exactly.
his numbers were high when they were both healthy during the
Yeah.
bubble, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he is absolutely unbelievable. And you could make a case he's the best passer in the league. And as a big, that's insane to say. Offensively has no
I
weaknesses.
wouldn't say best passer. He had 7.9 assists. Let's not get carried away now. He's up there.
but but defensively, I don't love them defensively. I think they can kind of get some switches and kind of torment him that way and use him in that way. But offensively, you could definitely make a case he's the best offensive player in basketball. And I know you love him. You absolutely love Jokic.
Yeah, I love the guys who aren't gifted athletically and are just smart and crafty, and that's how he is. As we know, he's not super athletic. He's kind of big and a little slow, but he's so smart, and just with his like ball fakes, his way his shot is kind of like Dirk's. It's up high where you can't. It's hard to block. Just his touch around the basket's really good, and I didn't realize he was that young still, 27. So
Yeah, that's crazy. You
got a
know,
lot
you know
more
who
years of
hates him?
Jokic.
You
What'd you
know
say?
who hates him?
Who?
My fiance Hannah absolutely hates him.
How?
She hates slow. She thinks he's just like a big blob in the middle of the lane. Yeah, she can't stand watching him.
He's like honestly the guys who are like not super athletic, or some of the guys like if you're like a kid watching basketball, that's who you should watch because no one's gonna
Hmm.
be crazy athletic unless you're like in crazy athletic. Then watch Anthony Edwards dunk on people. Yeah, if you can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
But
Or Giannis or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Before we move on to college football, do you have an NBA champion that you've thought about at all?
I low-key haven't thought about NBA in a while, but now I'm on the spot. Oh God.
I'm going with the Clippers personally. That's what my prediction is. I think they're going to probably load manage Kawhi by the end of the year. He'll be healthy for the playoffs, and if he's healthy, I think they have the deepest team. I don't think they'll have the best record in the regular season. I actually could see the Nuggets having the best record in the regular season if they're all healthy because they win a lot of regular season games.
The
But
Suns do too, and then choking the
yeah, yeah.
hmm. Uh, um, some
Warriors are
teams like I
obviously a
think could
threat.
win it. I just don't want to pick them. Like the Sixers could win it, but I don't like Philadelphia.
Hmm.
I'll just go with the Bucks because I like Giannis.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, let's get some college football rolling here. Um, Best week of the season so far.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Tennessee upsetting Bama, last second field goal, 52-49 on
yeah.
a knuckleball field goal that was spinning not the right direction. And there's a camera angle from behind it where it barely got over the goalpost. But the scene in Knoxville was electric. The Everyone storming the field, just the shots from that were ridiculous. Them tearing down the goalpost, carrying it downtown to the bars, throwing it in the river. All the celebrities there, like Peyton Manning was there,
Mhm.
Morgan Wallen, Kenny Chesney roll out the game. Morgan Wallen went to like the bars in downtown Knoxville after the game and started playing at him, which that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
You're just in a bar and Morgan Wallen's playing. But yeah, ridiculous. The stats in the game. I couldn't really watch it because it was on CBS. And then some people from work asked me to go play golf. So I was playing golf and just keeping up with it because I knew I'd
Hmm.
be kind of mad if I was sitting here and really was no able to watch it.
Yeah.
But oh man, let me find it. Let me find it. Shout out to it was a great offensive game, awful defensive game.
Yeah.
But God, let me get there. Let me get there. There we go. Found it finally. But shout out to come on, baby, load. I'm getting there.
I will
Getting there.
say it was an offensive shootout from the beginning. I mean, I think Tennessee scored within the first 2 minutes on their drive. So I mean, it was happening right from the beginning, a shootout.
So my shout out, Jalen Hyatt,
Mm,
6 receptions, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns.
yeah.
Can't get much better than that. Uh, both quarterbacks played amazing. Bryce
Mhm.
Young, 455 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hendon Hooker, 385, 5 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs was as advertised, 103 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, I was about to say they have the new rankings out because I was very curious and I have not looked until right
Yeah,
now.
I've looked
And
already.
and
I have my
Tennessee
thoughts.
Tennessee is number 3 and Alabama is number 6. How do you feel about that flop or that switch?
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Which Alabama would be ahead of them still.
No. But I'm curious. Like, do you think Michigan should be over Alabama? Because I wouldn't.
I don't think Michigan should be over us, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. And it kind of pisses me off. Like I was
The-
really pissed when I saw it, but it's fine. They always sleep on us every year. When we won the national title, Paul Feinbaum was like, "Yeah, Clemson has no shot," and then we murdered Alabama. But we'll just slide under the radar. We've been getting better every single week. Um, we are the only team that has beaten 2 teams in the top 25 rankings right now. Just throwing that out there. Ohio
In,
State's hasn't beaten a ranked team yet, so
mm,
um,
yep.
yeah, we're about to beat another undefeated ranked team next weekend. But yeah, I'm not mad at all. But yeah, they always underappreciate us. But anyway,
around
uh,
around college football though,
yeah, I wrote a lot of notes.
Michigan knocking off Penn State 41-17. Pretty dominant there. It was close until the end, I thought, wasn't it?
That game was, I watched that game. It was very weird first half. Michigan had the ball the entire time and dominated. Sean Clifford, he's overrated. Penn State was overrated. Never really thought they were gonna be that good. Um, and then Sean Clifford they went like 3 and out their first 2 or 3 drives, and Sean Clifford had a 60-some yard
Mm-hmm.
run.
Mm-hmm.
They scored. It was like 7-6 because Michigan just kept kicking field goals. Then they had a picks. Then Michigan went down and I think kicked in a couple more field goals. Then right before half, Penn State had a pick six, got the lead, I think going into half or something, and then they couldn't do anything offensively. And Blake
Yeah, so that
Corum, their running back, just ran all over everyone. And the strategy to beat Michigan is stop the run and
mm-hmm.
make their young quarterback beat you.
Mm-hmm. Ole Miss at home versus Auburn, they won 48-34. It's kind of surprised me. I didn't get to I watched a little bit of it actually. Like 10 minutes worth before I flipped to something else. But I saw Auburn scoring 34 kind of surprised me on Ole Miss.
Yeah, that does surprise me. I think that's what Ole Miss is probably the most worried about is their defense. Like Auburn hasn't scored that much. Oh God, this whole year really,
Mm.
and putting up 34 against you. They scored most of it in the second, third quarter. It wasn't fourth quarter garbage time really,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you want Ole Miss needs to get their defense a little bit better, but they're humming right now. Their offense is cooking with Lane Kiffin. I don't know. Their quarterback really didn't throw for that many yards. He had 3 touchdowns, but I think they may have just ran it down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. They had 3 guys. Yeah, so 2 running backs with over 100 yards rushing, and then their quarterback had over 100 yards rushing. So 3 guys with over 100 yards rushing. Same with Auburn. They ran for a total of 301 rush yards. Tank Bigsby, 179 rush yards, 2 touchdowns. Sweetest name in college football.
For sure.
Maybe behind Kool-Aid McKinstry on Alabama. That's another really cool one. That's one of my favorites. But I think Ole Miss has a big game next week. Well, we can get into that on our preview, but next week there's like 5 top ranked matchups too. Some really good ones.
Oklahoma beat Kansas 52-42. Not as much of a blowout as we thought it would be. It wasn't Kansas without their quarterback.
Well, yeah, without their starting quarterback, their backup played good, 265 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Oklahoma had their starting quarterback back, Dylan Gabriel. He played good. This was like a prototypical Big 12 football game where there's no defense to be played, which is surprising with Brent Venables at Oklahoma. And his defense has not been looking good at all this year. And it's still crazy to think Kansas has a better record than Oklahoma. And we're talking football, not basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you think about it, really this year's been great because last year the Pac-12 was pretty bad and the Big 12 wasn't great besides Oklahoma. Now the Big 12 has like 5-6 teams that are really good and competitive, and the Pac-12 is a lot better too. It's a lot more, I guess, parity. Yeah, parity, that's the word, between all the leagues. Maybe honestly, I guess the Big 10 has quite a few teams ranked too, like 3 maybe. But it's good to see.
Texas squeezed by Iowa State 24-21. Were you able to see that at all?
No, I was watching the Michigan Penn State game, but I did flip to it for a little bit, and when I flipped to it, it's just Bijan Robinson just running past everyone.
Yeah,
but
nothing new.
Yeah, nothing new. There's you just gotta get the win. I figured Iowa State would be a tough team. They're just always a tough team, but they pulled it out. So hey, a win's a win.
Number 24 Illinois beat Minnesota at home, and I think you and I both picked Minnesota to win that, but they proved us wrong this week.
Yeah, it's a big game or a big win for them because Minnesota is a good team.
Georgia absolutely dominated Vandy, 55-zip.
That's what the That's what they needed to do.
We covered the Alabama Tennessee game. TCU, number 13 in the country, beat Oklahoma State at home 43-40. They squeezed by that one as well.
Double OT.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about
Max.
that one. I saw you tweet
What?
about that one. I saw you tweet about that one.
I did. Like it when did like this morning about how good yesterday was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did because it was one of the better games. Max Dugan, beast, but Quentin Johnson again had an amazing day. 8 receptions, 180 yards, and 1 touchdown. Pretty incredible. And TCU's humming, and they play. I think they play someone good next week too. Maybe
Yeah.
I may have that wrong. I saw who the ranked teams were that are playing next week, but then I kind of forgot, which is probably good because then I'd start talking about that.
Yeah. You're Mr. ACC boy over there. How'd you feel about Syracuse over NC State?
Well, NC State, Devin Leary's out for the year. So that kind of explains why NC State lost, but Syracuse has been humming. They got Sean Tucker, who's a stud. I don't know much yards he ran. What time of day did they play? Was that in the afternoon?
It was the afternoon. Yeah,
All right. Okay, let me find it.
I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah, Sean Tucker ran. Their quarterback's pretty solid too. He's kind of like a dual threat guy. But yeah, NC State without Devin Leary is not nearly as good of a team. Like their defense is solid. They held them to 24 points, but it's kind of when your offense isn't good and your defense is really good, it's hard because then your defense is good, but they're on the field so much that after time they just kind of get worn out and start letting up points. But Syracuse is like the first time they've been undefeated since before World War II.
Wow.
And that won't last for long as they're gonna come into Death Valley in a place where we haven't lost in like since I've never seen Clemson lose when I've been at a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I never saw him lose once in my 4 years of being in school, which is kind of crazy.
That's wild.
At Death Valley. So yeah, we'll pull it out. We'll stop Sean Tucker, make the Schrader guy at the throw, and then just run it down their throat.
James Madison's run the top 25 in their undefeated season potentiality, however you say that, came to an end though. They lost to Georgia Southern. We did not pick that.
You would not pick that?
We did not pick
Oh
that.
no,
We
Georgia
both thought
Southern
James.
put up like 40 points against North Carolina earlier this year. But this is the first time I'm looking at the box score. Holy Toledo, these quarterbacks popped off. James Madison's quarterback threw for 468 yards and 2 touchdowns. Solid. And then the Georgia Southern's quarterback's like, here, I'll up you a little bit. He threw for 578 yards and 4 touchdowns.
64 pass attempts.
Yeah, their running back had 11 attempts for 20 yards.
I just saw that. That's wild.
Just crazy.
How did you feel about Clemson against Florida State? 34-28 win.
We played good. We played really good for the first 3 quarters, and then we got up, and then we kind of like they scored 14 points at the end. It was kind of garbage time-ish. Our defense was kind of, I think, just relaxed and was like just kind of playing to win, not really because our defense didn't look good in the fourth quarter, but this game was a bigger we won. The score doesn't show how much, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't actually that close. It's not like they had the ball driving down at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But DJ was incredibly efficient. 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he was like 15 for or 17 for 21 maybe or something like that. 15 for 23. Will Shipley, workhorse, 20 rushes, 121 yards. Antonio Williams, the freshman, got a receiving touchdown. Both of our tight ends had a receiving touchdown. I just really like how DJ spreads the ball out to a lot of guys. So it's not like if you stop one guy, we have like 4 other guys who can do damage. And we're cooking right now. We got all our defensive line boys back, humming. Yeah, Syracuse. Yeah, we're gonna beat them by a lot.
So you've been pleased with DJ so far? Because I know there was a lot of question marks coming into the season.
You need to see this. I should have saved this, but through their second season as quarterbacks, looking at Deshaun, Trevor, and DJ, their second year starting. DJ has more touchdowns than Trevor and Deshaun did. He has 21 total touchdowns. They both had, I think, 19. He has more yards. I think it was passing yards. And then there's something else. So he's low key statistically wise is playing better than Deshaun and Trevor in their second year.
Wow.
Oh, and it was less interceptions. That's what it was. They both had like
Yeah.
7 and he has 2.
Dang. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of question marks coming into the season about how he would do, and
I think he silenced the haters. So if you start asking about him again, I'm gonna fly back to Missouri and punch you in the face.
but
Yeah, because I remember you picked Florida State. Yeah,
I did. I did
idiot.
pick Florida State. I did pick Florida State. Will Levis was back in the lineup for Kentucky this week. He had a pretty decent week. Efficiency was great. 17 for 23, 230 passing yards and a touchdown. They beat Mississippi State 27-17 at home. And I think you and I both were saying if he's in the lineup, they're going to win. If he's not,
Yeah. That's how we picked the game. We're like,
yeah, yeah.
But
they pulled that one off.
Kentucky's running back ran for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
yeah,
pounding the rock. That Mississippi State Ole Miss game at the end of the year is going to be that's going to be a high scoring game.
Oh yeah, for sure. The last ranked game was Utah at home beating number 7 USC 43-42. Does that kill USC's chances of making a college football playoff?
Probably, maybe.
I
think
too.
A one-loss Pac-12 team doesn't get the pet isn't as good as like a SEC one-loss team. So probably,
I agree.
So I'm happy. I watched the end of that game and it's pretty crazy. Utah with a big drive. They scored the touchdown. Then they were like, let's go for 2 with less than a minute left. Cam Rising ran it in, and then their defense held on. It was awesome.
Yeah, big win for Utah.
Both quarterbacks played really good. Caleb Williams had 5 touchdowns, 381 yards. Cam Rising 415, 2 touchdowns.
We're going into week 8 already.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Unreal.
There's some other good like non-ranked games that happened. North Carolina won right at the end against Duke, a last-second touchdown. Their quarterback, I think it's Drake May, his first year starting, playing ridiculous.
Yeah.
Notre Dame lost at home to Stanford, 16-14.
Unreal.
That was a surprise to me, but makes me happy. I think there's one more.
Washington beat Arizona.
Nice. Penix, they were 516 yards.
Yeah, school record, they said.
Yeah, it looks like they really try to establish the run, don't they? 8 attempts.
Last 3 weeks have been awful defensively, absolutely brutal defensively. I have it on CBS where I get every single. I don't know. This is crazy on CBS, the app. It gives you like every
Paramount
single.
Plus.
No, like just the app on your phone.
Oh,
CBS.
gotcha.
Like it gives you when the score happens, it gives you like every single detail of what happened. Like Michael Penix drops back, hits Polk in the slat or in the slot, and it's like it's crazy.
That's sweet
description. So I wasn't able to watch it because it was on Pac-12 Network. But yeah, not pleased with the defense the last 3 weeks. But
and then the last game, Arkansas beat BYU, 2 teams that were ranked. And KJ Jefferson came back, and obviously that was a big difference because he threw for 353 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then the running back ran for 175 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I saw Jefferson had a pretty scary head injury at the end of that game. Did you see that?
Oh, did he got hurt again?
Yeah, he landed on his head. I think it was in the end zone. He dove in and landed on his head. So,
suck it up.
I feel like we always see that type of stuff in football, but it seems like a lot this year so far, which is
I know a lot of wobbling too whenever you get up.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone do that until this year. It's been every single person.
I know, it's wild. The NFL had tons of upsets also.
The National Football League, yep.
Pretty crazy. So the Niners lost to the Falcons 28-14. Marcus
Should we start with the Thursday night game?
Yes, we can start with the Thursday night game, but that can take like 10 to 15 seconds to march through that
minutes,
one.
Okay. Carson Wentz. He's undefeated on Thursday night. Probably I'll say best Thursday night quarterback. Best, I guess not counting Monday's weekday quarterback.
Mhm.
Threw for 99 yards, no touchdowns. I don't even know if he threw. I don't think he threw a pick either. But I guess the big thing about this game was the Commanders stopping the Bears right at the end of the game when Fields threw to Mooney and they tackle him and he was just short, which is
Yep.
kind of crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I know you have a hatred for a lot of teams. Like I hate your Cowboys. You hate the Bears as much as I do.
I don't like them. They're not like awful to me. They're
Are you
never good.
are you indifferent to them?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
See, I don't like them because I hate everything Chicago. So I
yeah,
just cheer everything against
yeah. I
Chicago. So
really
I
don't
always,
like cheer for them,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you cheer for the
But
White
no,
Sox.
that's true. I mean, they have a couple players I like, which helps out. But no, I mentioned the Falcons beating the Niners this afternoon, 28-14. The Falcons are 3-3, almost over their win total that I think I predicted 4 wins this year for them,
Time
which is
to You have to
wild.
apologize to Mr. Marcus Mariota.
I
You just
apologize.
good boy. Um,
No, he's playing good football, man. He is. And
eh,
they're without Cordero again today, I believe.
yeah,
So, yeah, getting it done.
beast. Yeah, Jeff
Um,
Wilson, screw you because you fumbled the ball. The Falcons
mhm.
got up by a bunch and then they never handed it off to you again. So that
Yep.
really helped me as you got
Yep.
me point 0.5 points
Yeah.
today in fantasy.
Jeez. Yeah, I did say George Kittle would have a good day, and he definitely had a better day than what he's been doing. I think he got 16 fantasy points for those fantasy users out there. But the Patriots absolutely dominated the Browns. And do we have another Tom Brady and Bailey Zappi in New England? Because
I wrote
holy
my
cow.
notes. Zappy, he should be the starter going forward. He's been playing way better than Mac Jones played. He's has had great completion percentage. This game was like he threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
he's in
And
control. And if you know anything from him in college, he played at Western Kentucky and it was a definition of air raid. He led I think the league, the country in passing yards to like he just slung it.
hey, and our fantasy help has been spot on as I'm watching Josh Naylor hit a homer for the Guardians there and do the
Is it
baby
1-1?
3-2, but he's doing a baby sign like the Russell Westbrook celebration towards Garrett Cole.
Nice.
It's interesting. Oh, he's still doing it all the way around the bases.
Is it a
Ooh,
3-2 Yankees?
3-2 Yankees. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Sweet.
But no, what was I just talking about? Oh, fantasy. We've been really on fire. Ramondre Stevenson, a couple touchdowns today. I think he ran over 100
You
yards as
guys are
well.
welcome. 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. Two
76.
touchdowns.
Two
Two
tutties help out.
touchdowns.
One game that really ticked me off today. I mean, I know if you're a Jets fan, congrats, man. But the Packers were really. It was just.
I
I
think
don't.
they're
I don't.
just bad.
They might be like I don't even like the Packers, but they were just pissing me off watching them play football.
Mm,
The
They had
Jets won 27-10, and
I know they
yeah,
had at least 2 kicks blocked and
yep.
maybe 3.
They had
Upon return for a touchdown, the field
mhm.
goal blocked.
Yep. They
Something
had
else probably.
they had no protection for Aaron Rodgers today. He was getting absolutely destroyed. And then offense, I mean, defensively, Brees Hall was just running crazy all over them. Zach Wilson didn't have a great day. But
Yeah, I still don't think Zach Wilson's that good,
I
but
don't I don't either.
when you
But
just run the ball and your defense does everything, you don't really have to do anything.
Brees Hall's been ridiculous. Where did Brees go to college at?
Iowa State.
Ah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, he's been dominating these last couple weeks.
Do I really think the
Ki
Jets are like scary
No,
and make the playoffs? Probably not, but a
no.
little
I
frisky.
I
A
agree.
this is the thing about the NFL is that anyone can beat anyone every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Like college, it's a little different. Like Vandy going into Georgia, you're like there's really no shot they're going to win. But
Yeah.
NFL, they're all like the top athletes, and really anyone can win any week.
Yeah, and along with that, I've been telling everybody on TikTok on our lives, give it till week 8 or 9 till we actually have a, stop overreacting to some teams. But we're
Hmm.
getting closer and closer. Um, we're getting closer and closer to that mark in the season, and I can confidently say in week 6 now. Vikings are going to win that division. Packers aren't winning that division.
Oh yeah.
I'm confident with that. The Colts has a crazy last minute win against the Jaguars. Matt Ryan went nutty today. Threw like
Yeah, they're like, we're not
389
running it
yards.
all.
I know. Without JT, they just went straight to the pass. But no, they had a big touchdown at the end to Alec Pierce, which I picked him up on fantasy right before that. So that was a dub.
Yeah, it's like only catch of the game.
Oh, I know. The Vikings beat the Dolphins 24-16, and Teddy
On
Bridgewater
that
had to
Jaguars Colts
play.
game, ETN 86 yards rushing.
I saw him break one off, like a
Yeah,
really
and he had some
explosive one.
receiving yards too.
Um, but no, the Vikings did beat the Dolphins 24-16. You and I both predicted that one correctly. And Teddy had to play because Skylar Thompson hurt his hand. So
Yeah, I don't
Teddy
know why they
Bridgewater
just
had to
didn't
come
like
in.
start Teddy anyway, because he was obviously better than Skylar Thompson. But
I don't understand that. Yeah, I did it. But Tua is cleared for next week. So
Tyreek Hill
even
went off. As we
yes.
said, you don't need a great quarterback. Tyreek Hill will do good with anyone.
Yep. Yeah, he's one of
Patrick
those
Mahomes, you're welcome.
guys.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, for real.
But
For
did you
real.
see Mike Gesicki score his touchdown, then do the gritty? Because he did a
He's the
gritty earlier and it was
it's
really
the
bad.
worst. It's the
And so
worst gritty.
he just embraces it. And he did it all the way down the sideline. It was
I
really
know.
funny.
It's the worst gritty for sure. The Bengals beat the Saints 30-26. And I think you predicted the Saints to win that, but I knew it was going to be a one that the end there. And Jamar Chase had a touchdown at the end, and the Bengals pulled that one out. How do you feel about this Giants? Somebody DM'd us because I told everybody on live the other day, and I think I know I told you, but on our live we had over 700 people at one point, which is pretty crazy
Yeah.
in there. But the Giants won 24-20, and I told them all I'm all in on the Giants if they beat the Ravens this week. Not all in like Super Bowl contender, but all in that they could compete with you guys and the Eagles. So
Like we did beat him with a backup quarterback. So
yeah, yeah.
like I'm not all in on the Giants. They beat Tennessee, who's down this year. They beat Carolina, who's god awful.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to us with a backup quarterback. They beat Chicago. They beat Green Bay, who lost to the Jets, who's obviously not as good. And they
Mm-hmm.
beat Baltimore, who's 3-3. And they've beat the Jets, lost to
Don't the
Miami.
don't the Giants have a really easy schedule coming up? Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything's easy nowadays, but the Jaguars, Texans, Lions, and then you guys, Commanders,
Well, they
Eagles,
play the
Commanders,
Jacksonville
Vikings.
Seahawks. They
Yeah.
play at Jacksonville, at Seattle. They
Mm-hmm.
play at Dallas, which is Thanksgiving. They'll lose that game for sure.
They
Yeah.
play they play on Thanksgiving against you guys.
Yeah.
Is that what the matchup is? But yeah, keep an eye on the G-Man 5-1. Very interesting. The where were we at? The Steelers beating the Buccaneers. That's the game of the week that pisses me off more than any other game of the week. And not because I wanted the Buccaneers to win for any particular reason. But that was my lock of the week that I was telling everybody. I mean, it had to have been a lock, but no. I do have a question for you though. Too early to worry there in Tampa Bay.
Uh,
They're 3-3.
um, they'll turn it around. I think it's just their protection, I guess, with Tom Brady. I really don't know
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. That game, every Steelers game is just always so freaking boring to watch.
Facts. And
But Mitchell
Pickett got hurt,
Trubisky,
right?
you should be the starter now.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Pickett get hurt? Some kind of concussion protocol, I think.
Yeah, you got smoked.
The Rams
Um,
beat the Panthers 24-20. And like you were saying about a college football game earlier, I think it was the Clemson game. Score did not show what it actually was. That game was a lot closer than what it 24-10 is. But yeah, the
yeah.
Rams pulled that one out.
And
The
you're saying you'd be
Bills,
crazy to pick the Panthers.
yeah, I mean, I also made it known that like we've seen it with when you fire a head coach, the team gets inspired and wants to
Oh,
play hard.
did you see him kick out Robbie Anderson?
Yes, I did. So yeah, he was arguing with the wide receiver coach, and then he was arguing with
The
somebody
head
else.
coach.
Was it the head coach?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a wild situation. While we were on air here, the Bills finished up a dub against the Chiefs,
Hell yeah.
24-20. That brought me some joy as well as you, I'm sure. And then the Seahawks. I mean, we both picked them to win. They won 19-9. The defense showed out today, slowing down the Cardinals. So that was
Well, we
a good
forgot to
sign to
mention
see.
something about the Chiefs game.
What's
Patrick
that?
Mahomes threw 2 picks, so
Love it.
Josh Allen threw 3 touchdowns, no picks. So
Love it. No, so the Rams winning, the 49ers losing, and the Seahawks winning. The Seahawks in week 6, and nobody would have said this, including myself, are tied for first place in the division. That NFC West has gone from dominant to very average this year.
we've swapped. The NFC East is swapped with
I
you.
know. It really has. It really has. And then I think that was all the games that happened. Tonight, obviously, Cowboys, Eagles. A lot of people. I mean, we had so many people in our live the other night that I didn't even see your messages in the live. But how
Sure. Yeah,
many?
you just skipped over them.
I promise you, I didn't. All the Cowboys, Eagles comments in there is insane, insane. Because
It's one of the biggest rivalries in football.
your fan base is passionate. Eagles fan base is
Well,
passionate.
we are like the
And
biggest
then
fan base, so
Monday night, the Broncos Chargers. That'll be another game. Hopefully, it's a good game, man. Hopefully, the Broncos can get it
I think
rolling.
the Chargers are just gonna blow them out of the water.
No Keenan Allen, but I don't. It hasn't mattered. But no
Mike
Keenan Allen.
Williams,
He's been more consistent than what he has been
he's a
in,
beast.
especially
He had
last
over a
year. But
thousand
yeah,
yards last year.
yeah, he'll pop off, and then the next game he'll have like 2 catches for 13 yards.
Justin Herbert
But
spreads the ball around.
yeah. But all right, we will be back Friday. Everybody have a great week. You have anything else before we head off and you watch your Cowboys take that fat L tonight?
Take that dub with a backup quarterback. Yeah, even if we lose, I'll still be happy we've gone lost one game with a backup.
And then
I have a
Dak will
better
be back.
record than the Seahawks, who have, I'd say, probably better receivers than us. CD's good, but like overall, DK
Oh, but your defense, bro, your defense wipes us out. That's not even
and
close.
you also have the quarterback with the highest completion percentage and passer rating. Did you know that?
Yes, I
I found
did.
that out.
Gino's been rolling, bro. Gino's been rolling. But no, we'll be back Friday. Hopefully I can roast you about a cowboy. That'll be fun. But
Yeah, it'll be fun. Roasting me after when team beat our backup quarterback. Go for it.
and I'll of course be bringing up Braun's 30-point triple double he drops on Tuesday night too.
Yeah. Their first who they play to start the season off.
It's the Warriors.
Oh, they'll lose. 100% guarantee.
But all right, guys, we'll be back on Friday. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next.
See you guys.